A few weeks ago, you were named the Time Magazine Athlete of the Year. Time asked you to define your year in one word, and you said historic. We can do better. We can give you 2 words to define your year. What would they be if you could do that?
2 words?
2 words.
That is hard. I would say, like, I don't know, life-changing maybe?
That's a great one. I think
really
And,
that's
like, all in a good way. Like, I mean, things just change really fast, like, as you guys know. Like, that's just how the world works, and especially with social media, people see a lot of your life, but that's what makes it fun and why I've had so many cool opportunities too. So it's crazy, like, looking back at a year ago today or around this time, like, I was just beginning my senior year.
Imagine this. You've just finished college, diploma in hand, beaming with pride as you walk the stage. Then, in a flash, you're thrown into the WNBA spotlight. For A'ja Wilson, it wasn't a dream come true. It was a whirlwind.
Well, my goodness. Is it just me, or are WNBA players sort of full of themselves? A'ja Wilson loves to do 2 things. 2 things. Play the victim, and is completely delusional as well, I guess. She's petty.
Picture this. 2 stars, 2 very different journeys. For Caitlin Clark, stepping into the WNBA was a dream come true, a seamless transition from college to the pros. But for A'ja Wilson, it was a whirlwind that felt more like a nightmare. While A'ja voices frustrations over what she calls the toughest schedule in American sports, spoiler, it's not, Caitlin is thriving, calling her rookie year life-changing. In a candid interview, Caitlin held nothing back, showing she's built for the challenge, and some say putting A'ja in her place. So, is A'ja right, or is Caitlin just built differently? Let's dive in.
Coming back, like, do you feel like as like professional athletes, you guys have like the most like stressful, like strenuous, like careers?
Yeah.
You know what's funny about professional sports? Everyone claims their schedule is the toughest, but A'ja Wilson just took it to a new level. On a recent episode of The Roommates podcast, A'ja made a statement so bold it has fans double-checking their calendars. She declared that the WNBA has the toughest schedule in all of American professional sports. Yes, you heard that right. The toughest. Let's unpack this wild claim.
I feel like for us, like, we don't have, our rookie orientation is not like anything too crazy. It's literally like, obviously, like a day before the draft and you're sitting there and you're talking, but it's like we don't get to go work out for teams. We don't have a comp.
Before we dissect why A'ja Wilson's claim is stirring the pot, let's take a moment to compare with other sports. Major League Baseball players endure a grueling 162-game season over 6 months, practically playing every single day, and sometimes even doubleheaders. Meanwhile, the NBA and NHL each battle through 82 games in roughly the same time frame. That's months of relentless court time and ice time, with players pushing their limits physically and mentally. These leagues are no strangers to demanding schedules, making A'ja's assertion about the WNBA's schedule all the more eyebrow-raising. Let's break this down further.
Like, you literally go from college. I remember it was like, I went in, I got drafted. I literally did training camp, and I came back to college just to walk to graduate. And then I had to go play my first preseason game. Like, we don't have, like, you don't have time to even, like, I remember Jackie was just like, I had to get my draft dress in a matter of a...
Now, let's look at the WNBA schedule. A modest 40 games stretched over 4 to 5 months. That's less than half the NBA's schedule and only a quarter of MLB's. Yet, according to A'ja Wilson, this is somehow the most grueling schedule in American sports. Let's unpack that claim.
I'm just like, there's no way, one of the biggest nights of my life, I have to like be rushed. But you kind of have to, like, it's college, then you go right into training camp, and then if you play overseas, that's like late October maybe, depending on when your club wants you over. And you're gone, like you're going, and then it's Olympic year, and you're going, and it's insane. So yeah, I would have to say our schedule is pretty.
Fans wasted no time sharing their thoughts. One summed it up perfectly. NBA, 82 games. WNBA, 40 games? What? Another added, they literally play only 4 months a year. Ouch. Social media erupted, with many calling A'ja's claim outright delusional. Adding fuel to the fire, she also complained about the schedule being disrupted by the Olympics, further sparking debate among fans. Here's what she said next.
Us, we had 6 Olympians this year. So that's like half our roster gone. And while other teams may have their whole roster, so they can like train, they can
practice, hoop, do all
like
that.
go on vacation, they can rest. So like it's a lot, and I'm surprised we did what we did this year because it was just a lot of just stuff going on. And stuff is the Olympics, but still.
So, what's really happening here? Is Aja simply having a moment, or is there something deeper at play? Some fans suggest the transition from college to the pros can be challenging, especially for rookies coming off a full college season. But let's be honest, every professional athlete faces this adjustment, and it's just part of the game.
A'ja Wilson is the queen of the delusion. She's absolutely the queen of the delusion.
Does everyone feel the same way? Not quite. Enter Caitlin Clark, the WNBA's Golden Girl and record-breaking superstar, who just broke her silence, and her words are putting A'ja Wilson in her place. Let's talk about Caitlin for a moment. While some players complain about tough transitions and the pressures of the spotlight, Clark is busy rewriting the playbook on how to thrive as a professional athlete. Here's the wild part. She's facing the same challenges as everyone else, yet her attitude couldn't be more different. Her relentless focus and positivity show why she's already a game changer.
And from college to the pros, I think it's just like the time span. That's just what's so weird about it. It's just so short and condensed. Like you don't have much time, but
Yeah.
at that point, it is what it is. Everybody has to deal with the same thing. So that's what I told myself is like, there's no point in complaining. Everybody's dealing with it. It's not any different.
It's a good mindset to have.
Yeah.
Imagine this. You've just played in the national championship, and suddenly you're drafted, packing your life into boxes and moving to a new city. Oh, and there's only a week and a half of preseason camp. That's the whirlwind Caitlin Clark faced. But instead of complaining, she's calling the experience life-changing.
Standpoint of, so I played in the national championship and I basically went to the draft right after, got picked. And then you basically pack up and move. Like you're moving in April, you don't even finish senior year of college. And I guess for you guys, like what was it? You go to the combine. How long do you have to prepare for the combine? A few months, and then you get drafted, and you still got a little time to get acclimated to the new city.
For sure.
You know, you have camp, whatever. Like it's not like that. Like camp for us is like a week and a half,
right?
And then you're
let's go
on
play.
the court.
Caitlin Clark isn't just talking the talk. She's walking the walk. In her rookie season, she claimed Rookie of the Year honors and made the All-WNBA first team, a first in nearly 2 decades. Plus, she shattered 62 records along the way. But how is she handling the pressure? With a refreshing perspective, Clark sees it as an opportunity for growth, boldly stating, "Pressure is a privilege." It's this mindset that truly sets her apart.
I think it was good a little bit too. Like you don't have time to overthink things. Like it's just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah,
like you're just on to the
now.
next. But at the same time, like you don't like. I feel like I never really ended the chapter of college. Like it was just like you up and left. But maybe that's good. You don't have a lot of time to think about it. So I think that's definitely the weirdest part of women's professional basketball and obviously college basketball too. It's just that change. But that's kind of how it has to be too. So it's just different. But I feel lucky.
No whining. No excuses, just pure hustle and gratitude. But here's where it gets interesting. While some players were complaining about the grind, Caitlin Clark was appreciating the mid-season break for the 2024 Paris Summer Olympics. She used that time to bond with her Fever teammates and recharge, reflecting, "It was the perfect chance to reset and reconnect."
The Olympic break, so I got a month off in the middle of the season because we had to pause the WNBA season because the 12 girls go and play in the Olympics and everybody else, you're not doing much. So got a month off, which I really needed, obviously, because I'd been playing basketball for just a year straight. But obviously so much different from the NFL or the NBA.
See the difference? Caitlin Clark acknowledges the challenge but frames it as an opportunity. And let's be real, she's not doing it alone. Clark is quick to give credit to her veteran teammates, recognizing their invaluable support in helping her adjust to the pros and thrive on and off the court.
Not knowing you nailed it.
Yeah.
Who else?
But also, like, I had a lot of really good vets around me too, so I feel very grateful for that. And we had a fairly young team too, so like people had been through it fairly recently, so they knew how I felt. But like, I feel like that definitely is a huge challenge, and that goes for whatever professional sport. Like, you're trying to learn, but also people are looking at you like you got to perform and like be what they drafted you to be, and that can be tough.
Caitlin Clark seems to have figured out how to be a rookie sensation while remaining humble and hungry. What's really impressive is that she's not just getting by, she's thriving. This hasn't gone unnoticed. Fans are flocking to watch her, TV ratings are climbing, and suddenly, the WNBA is a hot topic. It feels like she's single-handedly reshaping the sport.
You come in as a rookie and like you said, like you're trying to figure out a new environment, new teammates. Like you don't want to say too much, you don't want to say too little, and it's just so hard.
So, what's the secret to Caitlin Clark's success? It's simple. She's demonstrating that success and gratitude can go hand in hand. Clark shows that you can face tough challenges and still view them as opportunities. In a league where some veterans seem set in their ways, Clark is a breath of fresh air, inspiring both a new generation of players and fans.
Like in my scenario, and obviously you guys too, like you're already highly thought of. Like people are turning to you to like be something or be someone. So it's hard. Like you're trying to get your feet wet, but also not do too much. And I think that's kind of what I struggled in early on is like, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how they're going to react.
Hold on though. Aja Wilson isn't done complaining yet. No surprises there. Let's break this down. Remember when athletes dreamed of their sport getting more attention? Well, for the WNBA, that dream is a reality. In 2024, the league hit record viewership numbers. You'd think everyone would be celebrating, but guess what? Not everyone is popping champagne bottles.
This is the time, like we're in the season of women's basketball, and it was so much fun to just like, it was aggravating, I'm not gonna lie, it was super annoying sometimes because you're constantly, you feel like you have to like reprove yourself, and like you feel like you have to like go out and be like, no, this is what y'all have been missing, and it kind of took away the fun of the game because you felt like you had to like defend yourself and like defend who you are as a player like every single game.
In a move that's left fans scratching their heads, Aja Wilson called the increased attention super annoying. Yep, you heard that right. The spotlight that most athletes dream of, and she's not a fan. So, what's her issue? Wilson's main gripe seems to be the constant need to prove herself. But let's be real for a second. Isn't that kind of the point of professional sports? To show up and prove you're the best, game after game?
I don't know. You guys are, no, you're like, y'all really, really toxic. I don't think we're that toxic. I think we're pettier. Like, we're petty.
What's really wild about all this is how Aja Wilson's stance completely contradicts itself. On one hand, she's complaining about the attention, but on the other, she's saying people are starting to realize how elite they really are. We're really good at what we do, she says. Talk about mixed signals.
Finally giving us like what's been due for, obviously, in our eyes, 28.
So why is Aja Wilson calling the increased attention on the WNBA annoying? Is it the pressure, the scrutiny, or something deeper? Maybe it's about control. When you're used to working in a smaller bubble, having millions of eyes on you can be jarring. But isn't this growth exactly what the WNBA has been striving for all along?
For Caitlin Clark, this was the face of the WNBA. No wonder all the ratings and the viewers showed up after Caitlin Clark got involved. This ain't it. This ain't it. I mean, that's delusional on a whole nother level.
Ever wonder what happens when a sport suddenly blows up? It's not all confetti and champagne, folks. For some WNBA stars, it's turning into a bit of a headache. But here's the million-dollar question. Are these growing pains actually hindering the league's growth? Let's crunch some numbers and find out who's really moving the needle in women's basketball.
People that have showed up in the stadiums, from the viewership numbers to people really wanting to wear a WNBA player's jersey or buy their merch or whatever it is, or have their shoe. Just how it's evolved in such a short period of time, I think shows everyone, there is real opportunity.
You know what they say? Money talks, and Caitlin Clark's is shouting from the rooftops. She's signed major deals with brands like Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm. That's not pocket change, folks. It's proof that Clark's performance and visibility are boosting sales. Meanwhile, while Clark's raking in the cash, some of her fellow players are singing a different tune. But here's the kicker. All this complaining isn't just annoying. It could actually hurt the league. Think about it. When fans hear their favorite players gripe about the attention they've long desired, how do you think that makes them feel? It's like throwing a party and then whining when guests actually show up.
My expectation is to be one of the best players in the world one day. I wouldn't expect anything less than that.
More history for the FIBA rookie.
At this point, continue to be myself, and I think a lot of good.
Meanwhile, Clark's over here showing gratitude for all the growth women's sports are experiencing. And you know what? Fans are loving it. We're talking a social media explosion, with over 54 million unique viewers across various networks. That's not just growth. That's a full-blown revolution. Now, I'm no psychic, but I've got a pretty good hunch about how this will play out. On one side, you've got the Woe Is Me crew, led by Wilson. On the other, you've got Clark and her let's change the game attitude. So who do you think fans will gravitate towards? Who's going to sell more jerseys? Who's going to pack arenas?
People can get out and watch the W or watch the college game or whatever it is, the better it's going to be for the future.
Let's put it this way. If you're a WNBA exec, who would you rather have as the face of your league? Someone who treats success like a burden? Or someone who's riding the wave and bringing everyone along for the ride? It doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out that Clark's positivity will translate into more butts in seats and more eyeballs on screens. But wait, there's more. This isn't just about individual players. This attitude shift could affect entire teams. Imagine being in a locker room with someone constantly complaining about the pressure. Now, picture suiting up next to someone who's pumped to be there, energized by the opportunity. Which team do you think is going to perform better? Which one is going to attract more fans?
The reason that you play, it's not because of the wins and the points you score. It's the amount of joy that you can bring people and the young girls that will one day grow up to hopefully, be whatever they want to be and get to talk about those moments.
You know what? The future of women's basketball isn't about whining. It's about embracing the spotlight and running with it. And guess who's leading the charge? None other than Caitlin Clark. While some players might be feeling the heat, Clark's out here changing the game with a smile on her face. Here's the thing. Experts are predicting big things for the WNBA in 2025. We're talking more media coverage, bigger endorsements, and a whole lot of buzz around women's sports. At the center of it all, Clark's star power is set to explode. The contrast between Clark's attitude and some of the old guard is like night and day. While some players are busy complaining about the attention, Clark's out here proving that a positive outlook can take you places. It's not just about playing ball anymore. It's about growing the game and inspiring the next generation. And that, my friends, is exactly what the WNBA needs to thrive. Do you agree? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.